Okay, in the first, uh, I'll be discussing application protocols for IoT. Okay, so in this chapter, the first thing I'll be discussing the transport layer. That is based on the transport layer protocol, the application layer protocol will be decided for the applications. So in TCP/IP protocol, with respect to transport layer, two main protocols are used. That is transmission control protocol and user datagram protocol. This TCP, that is transmission control protocol, as you know, it is a connection oriented protocol, and it requires a session need to be established between source and the destination before exchanging of any data, right? Here the delivery of the data is guaranteed. A user datagram protocol, it is a connectionless protocol. Data can be quickly sent between source and the destination, but disadvantages, no guarantee of delivery. Okay, so you know that in most of the application, UDP is used, that is user datagram protocol is used for many network services. With respect to this protocol, the application layer protocols used are domain name system, network time protocol, simple network management protocol, and dynamic host control protocol. So these are the protocols which are used for real-time data traffic, which may include voice and video over IP as well. Okay, when it comes to IoT application protocol, like constrained application protocol, that is CoAP, right? So this application layer protocol is used along with UDP. Okay, that's why it is implemented in many industrial applications. Okay, and there is a room for optimization and adaptation of the UDP transport layer if run over LLN networks. Okay, that is about transport layer. So in this chapter, we will be discussing topics like IoT application transport method. So under this, we will be discussing application layer protocol not present, SCADA, generic web-based protocols, and the last one is IoT application layer protocols. The first one, that is application layer protocol not present. In this, the data payload is directly transported on top of the lower layers. No application layer is present, no application layer protocol is used here. Okay, the second one we'll be discussing SCADA, that is supervisory control and data acquisition. It is one of the most commonly used industrial protocols in the world. Okay, it was developed long before than IP. Now it has been adopted for IP networks as well. Third topic is generic web-based protocol. Generic protocols like Wi-Fi, Ethernet, 4G, or LTE are found on many consumer and enterprise class IoT devices that communicate over non-constrained networks. The last one is IoT application layer protocol. Here, IoT application layer protocol are device to run on constrained nodes. Remember, under this, IoT application layer protocols are devised to run on constrained node with a small compute footprint and are well adapted to the network bandwidth constraints on cellular or satellite links or constrained 6 low-pan networks. Okay, and under this topic we'll be discussing protocols like MQTT and CoAP. These are the application layer protocols we'll be discussing under the last topic. MQTT is message queuing telemetry transport protocol, and CoAP is constrained application protocol. Okay, first we'll see the first topic, that is application layer protocol not present. As we studied in the previous model, the devices are classified into class 0, class 1, class 2, right? So let's consider class 0 devices which send or receives only few bytes of data, right? Because the resources provided for such devices are very less, right? So these devices, this class 0 devices, don't implement a fully structured network protocol stack such as IP, TCP, or UDP, or even application layer protocol. Okay, So that is what it is said. And consider this example where low cost temperature and relative humidity sensors sending data over LPWA LoRaN infrastructure. Okay, so here the temperature, this temperature is represented as 2 bytes and relative humidity as another 2 bits of data. Okay, this small data payload is directly transported on top of LoRaN, low LoRaWAN MAC layer without use of TCP/IP. Okay, so here this image shows, right? This shows the raw data for temperature and relative humidity and how it is decoded at the application. Okay, so here two kinds of data will be sent, one with respect to temperature, one with respect to humidity. Okay, so here uh, different kinds of you can see here different kinds of temperature sensors from different manufacturers are used. Okay, these sensors, what will do, the sensors will report temperature data in varying format. Okay, so our temperature value will always be present in the data transmitted by each sensor, but decoding, here you can see in this layer, decoding decoding this data will be vendor specific. See here, the data will be generated. That means temperature will be sensed and passed on into the next layer where decoding has to be done. And this decoding is vendor specific. See, if different decoders are used from the different manufacturers, then there will be a compatibility issue. Okay, to solve that problem, uh, an additional layer or additional mechanism is used that we call it as IoT data broker. Okay, this IoT data broker is a piece of middleware that standardizes sensor output into a common format. So sensors output into a common format that can be retrieved by the authorized application. So this will help you to follow a standard format so that it can be retrieved to the application, different authorized application. Okay, so this is uh, what where IoT data broker is used. Okay, that is what explained here. And next is SCADA. See, SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, and this is an automation control system that was initially implemented without IP over serial links before adopted to Ethernet and IPv4. Okay, many other many SCADA protocols are used, and wherein DNP3 I'll be discussing, which is based on master-slave relationship. DNP3 is what? Distributed Network Protocol 3. See here, the master in this is a powerful computer located in the control center of a utility. Okay, so master is what? A powerful computer which is a control center. That means from where you are going to control all the devices. Okay, and a slave is a remote device with computing resources found in a location such as a substation. With respect to DNP3, slaves are called as outstations. Okay, and do remember DNP3, it is SCADA protocol which follows master or slave relationship. Master is the one which is a powerful computer which is located in the control center, whereas slave is a remote device with computing resources. With respect to DNP3, we call that as a outstation. Okay, and next here, connection management links the DNP3 layer with IP layers in addition to configuration parameters and methods necessary for implementing the network connection. Okay, so next the IP layers appear transparent to the DNP3 layer as each piece of protocol stack is in one station logically communicates with the respective part in another. So what does it mean? DNP3 endpoints or devices are not aware of underlying IP transport that is occurring. Okay, so here you can see the image. This is a protocol stack for transporting serial DNP3 SCADA over IP. Okay, actually this image where you can see connection management here. Okay, so this will not be knowing the underlying what is happening in the transport layer and the network layer. Okay, and here you can see this is the master and this is the slave, and it is outstation, where with respect to DNP3 protocol, the data link transport layer and application is implemented. With respect to IP layer, data physical link, data link, network and transport is considered. With respect to this image here, the master side initiates connection by performing initiate the connection by performing TCP active open. Okay, the outstation listens for the connection request by performing TCP passive open. Okay, so dual end point is defined as a dual endpoint is defined as a process that can listen for the connection request and perform an active open on the channel if required. Okay, so this is how DNP3 along with the SCADA over IP network works. Okay. And next, there is another concept, that is tunneling legacy SCADA over IP network. With respect to this, a raw socket connection simply denotes that the serial data is being packaged directly into a TCP or UDP transport. A socket in this instant is what? Standard application programming interface, which is composed of IP address and TCP or UDP port that is used to access network devices over an IP network. So we'll just see how actually this tunneling legacy SCADA over IP network works. Okay, so here in this image, you can see both SCADA servers are there here, and this is router, and this is also router. Okay, and this is RTUs. RTU are remote terminal units. See, this remote terminal units and the SCADA server, it is here, this is connected to this router with the help of serial connection, and this SCADA is connected to router with the help of serial connection. Okay, so this image says that both SCADA server and the RTUs have a direct serial connection to the respective routers, right? The routers terminate, you can see here, the routers, this router and this router terminates the serial connection at both the ends and use, you can see here, this router and these router uses raw socket encapsulation to transport the serial payload over IP infrastructure. You can see here it follows serial interface, and whatever the data received at here and here are transmitted over IP infrastructure. Okay, this is one thing. And next, here for the previous existing image only, small change made on the SCADA server side. Okay, that is a piece of software is installed on the SCADA server that maps serial COM ports to IP ports. So here this is installed. What software is installed which maps COM ports map to the IP ports. Okay, so this software, this installed software is commonly referred as IP/serial redirector. Okay, this IP or serial redirector terminates the serial connection of SCADA server and converts that into TCP IP port using a raw socket connection. Okay, that is about what installing the software, that is IP or serial redirector. Okay, and the last one you can see here, this is RTU, this is router and the SCADA. Okay, in this you can see the SCADA server supports native raw socket, like we discussed in scenario 1, sorry, scenario A and B, where router or IP or the previous one, IP or serial redirector software has to map to the SCADA servers. That is SCADA servers serial ports to IP ports, right? In this scenario, that is in C, the scenario C, the SCADA server has full IP support for raw socket connection. Here you can see Ethernet is used. Here the fully developed IP is installed. With the help of raw socket connection. Okay, so that is all about um, tunneling legacy SCADA over IP network. Okay, and next is SCADA protocol translation. Okay, it is an alternative to the raw socket which we discussed in the previous slide. Alternative to a raw socket connection for the transporting legacy serial data across an IP network. Okay, so to do this, SCADA uses protocol translation. Okay, so this translation, the legacy serial protocol is translated to a corresponding IP version. Okay, so this is the what DNP3 protocol translation, how protocol translation happens. Okay, see, as you can see, it shows serially connected DNP3 RTU, serially connected DNP3 RTU, that is remote terminal units, right? And two master, you can see here, two master applications supporting DNP3 over IP. Okay, IP that control and pull data from RTUS. Okay, the IoT gateway, you can see here, IoT gateway is used. This performs protocol translation function that enables communication between RTUs and the servers. Okay, despite of having serial connection that is present on one side and IP connection is used on another side. Okay, so that actually helps in converting this protocol transmission. Sorry, protocol translation will help connecting RTU and the masters in spite of having a serial connection on one side and IP connection as another side. Okay, so this running uh, protocol translation at IoT gateway, which is connected to the RTU. Here, implement, what does it mean? I mean, I'm running here translation, right? So it says that implementing a computing function close to the edge of the network is very, it is very advantage if we follow such type of translation in the network. That is, adding computing function close to the edge helps scale distributed intelligence in the IoT network. Okay, that is how DNP3 protocol translation is done, and this helps in adding computing function close to the edge, which helps scaling distributed intelligence in IoT networks. Okay.